Hi everyone, so I've just completed week 6 of my training for my Royal Parks half marathon. It was a beautiful week in the Lake District, so what an amazing place to get some training runs in and some hill runs in. Monday was our first morning in Esquel in the Lake District. I ran with my brother-in-law, who's actually the whole reason I ended up starting running. He roped me into doing a 10k, and the rest is history, as they say. So we decided just to take the road route, ran up to some crossroads and then just ran back. Really, it was just a road run. There was nothing exciting about it. There was a few hills, nothing too challenging. Obviously the scenery was far more beautiful than I'm used to around here, but yeah, it wasn't the most exciting run. We ran it in 39 minutes and 16 seconds with a pace of 9 minutes 28. Now, I don't think my Strava was wholly accurate while we were away. I couldn't get my watch to work. I had absolutely zero signal, no 3G or anything, so I'm having to assume that some of my runs are right, but I do think some of them have perhaps added on a little more distance than I actually did, which is a shame because it means I can't really accurately get a proper pace. But it felt comfortable. I really enjoyed it. I didn't wake up thinking I'm not running, I'm on holiday. So yeah, it was good. On our first run in the lake, say hi. My running buddy. The whole reason I'm even doing this. I don't even know how far we've done, about 2 miles. Just short of 2 miles from here.
Blue sky.
We just stuck to the road today, so we need to find off-road. Oh, I could do living here. Look at those views. Then on Tuesday morning, we decided to make it a little bit more exciting and do a hillier run. So we decided to turn left outside of our camp, which leads you to a lot of hills. There was quite a lot of hills, uphill all the way, quite tough. They were like gentle incline. I wouldn't say they were like majorly long hills or anything like that, but there was just lots of them. Ran up to the Hard Knot Pass, which is apparently, according to the lady that owns the campsite, the steepest and hardest mountain pass in the UK. I'm not sure how true that is, but having experienced it, oh my god, it was bloody awful coming down in the car. The girls were in tears. So yeah, it was pretty horrific. Even if it isn't the actual hardest pass, I can vouch and say I never ever want to experience that again. So anyway, I decided to take Mark to go and see it. Obviously we knew we were never going to run it because it's far too steep. It's like got a 30% incline. So yeah, we ran to the bottom of that just so he could see, what we'd come down, which to be honest wasn't even a true reflection because the other side is far steeper than the side that we could see. So obviously the journey back from this run was far easier than on the way there. A lot more downhills, although there was a couple of uphills, but nothing like going there. So yeah, that was a far more interesting run. I got to try a bit of interval running, I suppose you could say, and my hill runs. So that was quite handy. We ran 5.2 miles, according to my Strava, in 51 minutes and 42 seconds with a pace of 9:54 average per mile. The hills really did kill me. I'm not a great hill runner, so I found that quite handy to do because it just got me to practice a few. When we got to the camp, we decided to continue a little bit further because, as every runner knows, you cannot stop on like 0.8 of a mile, so we had to carry on that little bit just to add on the extra. I think probably we actually only really did 5 miles, but yeah, my Strava said 5.2, so I can only report what I have recorded, can't I? Gone the other direction outside of our camp today. It's a bit hilly. We haven't even got that far. I'm dead. Go mountain. Hills everywhere. Ooh. Proper downhill. This is like put on the brakes, downhill. Oh shit. Well, that would have been comical if I'd fallen over while filming it. Wednesday I had a rest day from running, but of course we had a very active rest day as we went on yet another hike, which was quite an intense, steep hike. Not one that we'd planned to even try. So yeah, that was actually really fun. I really enjoyed that. Then on Thursday, we'd planned the night before to run 10 miles because that was on my training plan to do for my long run this week. So yeah, we had it all planned. We were going to do a trail run of where we'd walked the previous day. We knew it was going to be really nice and pretty and probably the best run that we'd had all week. But of course the weather saw to that and we woke up to absolutely torrential rain. I'm not just talking about a little bit of a drizzle. I can run in rain. This was so torrential you could barely see what was in front of you, and we knew that the route that we wanted to take was going to be very slippy. It's next to the river, the cobblestones all the way along it. So yeah, it was going to be a bit scary to try and run that in that moment, in that weather. So we hung on a little bit. I knew that we wasn't going to be doing much of a walk on this day because Ellie had actually hurt her ankle on the trampoline the day before. So whatever walk we did was going to be close to camp. So I thought I might as well hang on and wait and see if the weather changed. Fortunately it did. It didn't actually last long, the heavy rain, and it did ease off. So Mark had already set off to go and do his little run, and I thought best him if he's going to do a short run when he'd planned to do a long run, that he does it really quick because he's far quicker than me. So I decided to let him go off, and I waited a few more minutes, and then the rain really did just stop. It was just a drizzle, so I decided to get up and get going so that Chris and the girls didn't have to wait around for me to do a run before we went anywhere. So yeah, I kept to the road originally. I turned right, the easier route along the road, and then as the rain was by this point not really happening, it was just a faint drizzle, I turned down a trail run from where we'd walked the previous day and decided to run along the river-esque back to camp. It was really nice. It was very slippy. There was an awful lot of water on the paths, but it was so much more fun, and it keeps you on your toes a little bit, doesn't it, when you've got to run a more interesting route. You're more aware of each step and everything. So it wasn't a fast run, although according to Strava it was. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. I had trail shoes on. I'd taken trail shoes on purpose, knowing that actually I would probably be running on trail most of the time, which obviously only turned out to be for this run, and the other two were roads. I managed to do 4.3 miles in 38 minutes and 48 seconds, which gave me a pace of 9-minute miles. I'm not convinced that's accurate, although I probably was running fairly fast on the route there, so I guess that may have averaged out, but I do think I probably only did more like 4 miles. But again, I can only report what has recorded, so I'll have to assume. So yeah, once I'd got back to sort of a point where I knew where I was going and camp was just up the road, I decided to get back onto the road and finish my run. I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest, once I stopped, because I couldn't quite fathom why I didn't continue. I could have actually probably carried on. I felt comfortable. I didn't feel like I needed to stop or anything. I think it was just more the fear of getting lost and knowing that everyone was waiting for me. And I'd told Chris I was only going for a short run. Yeah. Anyway, in hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? But I probably would have carried on, and I probably would have done a bit more exploring. But hey ho, I didn't. I woke up this morning. Sounds like there was a massive storm last night. It sounded, I didn't actually hear the thunder and lightning, but the rain is bad. It must have been bad because the tent is surrounded by water. It's not got a very good drainage system on this campsite, I have to say. So decided not to do a long run. Just going to do an easy 3 miles. I'll save my long run for when I get home. Tomorrow we're hoping the weather's better because we're all desperate to see Scafell, maybe climb a little. Ellie's twisted her ankle on the bloody trampoline, so I think maybe giving her a day off from walking today will help our chances tomorrow. So yeah, let's get this 3 miles done. Well, it could be. Maybe not such a good idea to run over that. I'm going to do a slight change of plan. I'm going to do the walking route that we know, but not go up to the waterfall. I'll turn back down to the campsite. Yeah, because to be honest, it's far nicer than running on the road. The rain's eased off. I did run my trail trainers after all. So, let's get done. With rest. Going in full force. Up the hill. Slipping onto. So yeah, that was it for my running for the week. I'd planned when I got home to try and do a 6 mile run at least, even though it was a 10-mile run that was planned. But like I said, my legs had they were just too tired. I was not in the mood for running. I had far too much washing to get through. We'd climbed a mountain. Seriously, we'd climbed a mountain. Check out my YouTube video. You can find that if you subscribe. You will see all my videos. Yep, so we'd climbed a mountain on Friday. Saturday we'd sat in the car the whole way home and we didn't get back till like 5:30. So yeah, Sunday was just a wipe out. Did not fancy it. So this week I plan to, it's going to be another tricky week of trying to squeeze runs in, but I can't make excuses. I want to get my miles up. So this week on Monday, which is today, I'm going to do 3 mile interval training, which I'm going to do once Chris gets back from work, because the girls just aren't really in the mood for going out on a bike ride and I can't bother to try and force them. And then on Tuesday I will do 4.5 miles. Again, I'll probably wait for Chris to get back if they're not in the mood for going out on their bikes. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I'm camping just up the road, so I probably will get some walks in, and if I get opportunity and my sister's kind enough to let me, then I may go off and do one of my runs, which will probably be my park run, so 3 miles. But if not, I will do that on Saturday when we get back from camping. And then on Sunday, I am going to do 10 miles. This is me being accountable. I am going to run 10 miles. I have to. I ran 8 miles before we went camping and that was fine. So I just need to find a nice route to run so that I don't get bored, and I'm going to get out there and get it done. So that's it for this week, people. I hope you've had a lovely week and I hope you're all enjoying your summer holidays. I know I've seen lots of Instagram posts of people running all sorts of places, including abroad, and I'm very envious, although my week I think was quite envious too. That's it for this week and I'll see you next week. Bye!